All right, we got our idea kind of figured out here. Let's see if we can zoom in a little bit. There, so here's the idea with the 3 little flowers here. There are 3 little flowers here. Some leaves, sparkly in the center, and a butterfly down here at the bottom. So now we're going to see if we can figure out how to make this work. So I'm gonna just use some copper. I do have some colors thought about using, but I decided since this is kind of a test, I'm just gonna use this because I have 2 whole rolls of it. So I might as well use that for this test and see how this works out. Because I don't know how it's gonna work. Wiring that on, but we will see. So I don't know, we're gonna take, I don't know, that might be not quite 2 feet of 26 gauge wire. And I'm going to start with this. Make sure that's where I want it. I feel like I need to tighten this down a little bit. I'm missing a pair of pliers. Don't know where they went. So I want this as close to that as I can. This one's pretty thick gauge wire. Not sure what it is, but it's probably like 12, maybe. Possibly. It's around there somewhere. And alright. So I'm going to start here and I'm going to wrap that together. I tried it a different way. Somebody suggested to wrap that after I don't know, like when I was wrapping the beads around, and it didn't work for me. I didn't like it. So I am going to do it the way I normally do. And try not to lose all my beads here. Let's zoom this back out. There we go. All right. So I am going to just start here. Get this started. I have gaps in between. I don't know how well this is going to go for me. All right. Okay, we got it started now. So I generally just get it started and get this wrapped nicely so that I know it's together really well. And you can totally wait and wrap it together at the end whenever you're doing the beads on that part, but I just didn't like doing it that way. All right. And I'm going to put a couple wraps right here. just going to pinch this together here. Pinch that all together on both sides. Make sure it's good. And then this piece here needs to kind of go down in there. Go wrap it. Pull it right around this side. Okay. And then trim that off. So now I want to wrap some beads up here. Maybe I'm going to start. I messed up my whole thing here. So we want flowers there. There. So I think, actually, let's start with some of these guys here. So we are gonna grab some of these. So I usually use this tinier seed beads on these, but I got these small ones, so we're gonna just use some of these. You know, I bet I could put a leaf in there too. Might be cool. We'll see. We're gonna see if that will work. And then, so we've got 4 beads. Just pop in a couple more beads there. Alright. So, we're gonna drop a bead here. See, these are bigger than what I normally work with, so I'm gonna just drop one. Usually I would drop a couple because they're the really tiny seed beads, but since these aren't so tiny, maybe I will just do them like one at a time. Drop one in. So they're starting to come in. Is it even focused there? What is going on? There we go. That's really close. I don't know if we need to be that close. Okay. Then we're just going to come back around. Where am I here? There. And drop one here. Oh boy. So I need to go through. I don't know if that bead is going to go through there. Oh, actually, I go through here. I didn't think about that. I can go right through there. Since that's open. See, now I think I'm going to drop 2 beads there. There we go. So I'm dropping a couple there. Alright, I don't know what's going on with my focus here. Alright. So we got a couple there. And I'm going to go right through here and drop that leaf right here. See what happens. There. I want that to wrap there. Here we go. Alright, so this little leaf needs to get put in place. See, this is the tricky part because I haven't worked with this, with that before. Alright, there we go, there we go. So, it's in there. I can probably push it out a little. Or up, around. Alright. And nope. That's gotta go this way. We're going over here. There. Nope, that's not gonna be. That's not going there. We're going this way. Maybe I need some of those tiny seed beads just for fillers. Huh? It's fine. Alright, so we're going this direction. Alright. So that's the start. That's where we're at. There. See it. So now we're just going to continue going around and we're going to try adding on those other flower beads. So I'm going to toss in a sparkly. And, oh. I'm going to mix these up, I think, a little bit. These might be too big. The sparkly is fine, but I don't know about the other one. Let's add a couple of these. And then we're going to throw in another leaf. We're going to throw that in after I get this on. See how it goes if I wrap two. If I can wrap two. Well, like that. I can wrap two. Like that. And then one. Then we'll throw that leaf on there. See how that's gonna turn out. So like the leaf, I want it to go a certain direction, I'm sure, depending on, oh, it's patterned on both sides, so it should be fine. All right, so it is going to kind of go up over those guys. Oh. Pull that down, around. So I'm going to have to hold that in place for a little bit till I get some beads on there. And we're going to grab a couple of these smaller ones. And I'm going to get one right. I guess it's going to be right there on that side. And I kind of want to hold it there while I'm wrapping so that it will help hold that leaf there. But see, he wants to move, so we're going to come back a little bit. Oh, get back there, get back there. Okay. I'm going to hold that there. Bring this one up there. And kind of pull it around this side of it. So that'll hold it more in place. There we go. Now we're going to try and add on one of these little flowers. So this is what we got here. We're going to try and add that flower right there. It looks all right. That's good. So we're going to pop a bead in place right behind it. So it's going to kind of go like right back there. Just put it there so it'll kind of sturdy that a little bit maybe. There we go. Then let's add another leaf on there. So this one, I'm going to try and make it go more that way, I think. Maybe. There we go. So it kind of goes that way. And wrap it. Might have to like wrap a couple times. Or wrap and put a bead back there. Then wrap another time. There we go. Okay, so now we're going to grab this pink, the big pink one. All right, so let's see how this is going to go. So that's quite a bit of space there. So we want it right there. And so I'm going to throw a bead right here underneath of it, maybe. Maybe that'll one. Nope, not that big. Give me it back. All right, we're gonna use this bigger bead. Pop it under there. Maybe that. And then grab another one of them and pop it on the other side, maybe. So I gotta make sure that's nice and tight. Where are we at? And then bring this one around to the back side. Right here. Behind it. So I think I'm gonna have to do more than that. Another one. Or two. Okay. One. So I ended up putting two more on there. There. Another one so it goes on the other. Back on the back side again. I don't know. These are going to hold where I want them. But stay there. It's trying to move on me. There we go. All right. See how that's going so far. Okay. That guy, he needs to go that way. There we go. Right, now we can always push it together a little bit. All right, now we're gonna add that other little flower. It's right here. Let's see. All right, there we go. Securing that little guy in there. Maybe. Okay. We're gonna add a little bead. Right. One right behind it. I'm going to add one right underneath there. Also, one right there. So I put one behind it and one right there in front of it. And now I'm going to wrap. There we go. I think. And then we need another leaf. I'm going to snag another one. I might need a couple more of them. Well, maybe bead. Let's throw a bead on there. First, I'm just using random colors of the beads. So it doesn't really matter. So you want those colors to kind of mix in. You know? All right, now we're grabbing another leaf, and where do I want that to go? We're gonna just let it do its thing here, I guess. There. So you gotta hold it down. Then grab a couple of these little beads here. I'm going to let one fall back there. And around and put one there. There. that looking? I feel like that leaf needs something to do. This guy kind of points a little more. I think that leaf needs to go behind it. So, there we go. Alright, now I'm going to wrap a few more beads on. And I have to start with a fresh piece of wire to do the butterfly. Oh, we should add another one of these sparkly guys in here. Alright. So we got a little line of beads here. I don't know how this... I don't know. Maybe I'm not going to want... Let's see how this is going to look. I might be adjusting my design, like where my butterfly is going and my other flowers, because, well, this is my first one with these kind of beads, so, and they always just kind of come out their own way. Like, you have a design idea in your head, but it doesn't always come out that way. Sometimes it just ends up being completely different, a little different. Just depends. Alright, so see, my butterfly was going to go down here, but that's not going to be a thing. So maybe what I do is I mix the butterfly and a couple of those little flowers up over here. That looks pretty just like that, though. Look at that. I don't know. It needs the butterfly, though. Maybe. Right, we're going to wrap this around here like this and secure it because, well, see how long my my wire is. So I can't really wrap a whole lot more with it. But this is looking really nice. I'm liking that. I love these beads. I am so obsessed with them. Oh my goodness. And the flowers are so pretty. All right, now we gotta figure out what we just want our butterfly on there. See, the butterfly needs to go maybe here. Maybe here. Maybe the butterfly needs to go right here. But see, now I gotta make sure. I'm gonna try and put the butterfly there. I am going to make sure it's going to go upside right side up. And it doesn't matter, butterflies can fly whatever way they want. See, no, that's not gonna work for me. I feel like he needs to be in between beads. He's not gonna lay right like that. But, I mean, we totally could just do, yep. All right, that's not how that's gonna go. All right, so we're gonna squish this together here and here. There. And then we're gonna trim that little piece off. And make sure this is nice and flat there. so that it doesn't catch on anything. Alright, so this is where we're at so far. And then we want to add the butterfly. How are we adding the butterfly? Alright, so butterfly. So we need some more of this. If I can find the end. Alright, so let's pop back out for a minute there. I'm not sure how good this video is going to turn out. It was very close up. Alright. Alright, I think that's plenty. We just got a butterfly. Well, we got a butterfly, maybe some beads, but I feel like if I put any more beads on there, it's going to be too much. I don't know if it's going to hang heavy. But I think what we'll do is we'll put some beads here, butterfly, and some beads. Maybe a couple of these tiny flowers by the butterfly. Maybe that'll. Alright, so here's what I'm going to do. I am going to this way. We want to go this way. Alright, I'm going to go put that down in there. I'm going to keep wrapping the same direction that I was. So, like I cut there. Are we? Oh, let's zoom back in. Alright, so I cut it right there. So I want to keep going that way. So I want to wrap this little part of the end here. I'm just going to wrap it around a few times to get it started so that it will be right. And squinch it together. Should have wrapped it closer together, but I did not. I was not paying attention. But I can slide that down there now. And this, I mean, sometimes it's fine if you have that. It looks pretty as long as it's wrapped nicely. But we're going to be covering that anyways. And I'm going to wrap a couple more times with this other end just to make sure it's nice and secure. Alright, and we want to add a few of those little leaves that I'm flipping around over here. Alright, so let's do I'm gonna grab a couple of these small beads and I'm gonna wrap down to start just because I need a base for my butterfly because he is gonna sit up a little higher than my beads, so he's basically gonna fit kind of in between some beads, I think, because of the wire he has. So we're gonna wrap a few beads right here. Because we're gonna have to go in between with him, I think. Let's throw a flower on first. Or should we throw a leaf on? Oh, maybe we should throw a leaf on first. Yes, we should throw a leaf on. Just grab one of these guys. Maybe we're going to grab one. There we go. All right. Throw one of these on here real quick. And that should be good. Maybe. Okay. And then we're going to grab that little flower. And kind of place it right in here. Just place it right in there between those beads and where the leaf is. That wire spot right down in there. And we're going to wrap again. I know, my leaf is wonky. I'm going to grab let's see, what am I going to put there? Give me a bead. Grab a little bead, and I'm going to stick it right down, right on the other side of my little flower here, just to kind of give it a little stability. And wrap around. Oh, I'm holding that little bead in place. Okay. So my leaf is kind of gone a little awry. Not sure if I like working with those. It's fine. Then I'm going to put another little bead. I want this little green one. It's because it looks like, leafy. I'm going to put that right there by that flower. Okay. All right. Then, now I want to add my butterfly on. And this is going to be tricky. Okay. So I want it to go this way. Okay, let's see. Let's go this way. So I gotta make sure it goes on my wire right. This way. Let's see if that works. Oh, it's fine. Yeah, it works because he moves on that wire. Alright, so now I gotta get that wire that he's on tucked down in. So I actually need to, I'm gonna come around the other side. I'm actually gonna go through that wire piece for the butterfly again. See how I'm going through that again, just to maybe help secure it some. A little bit better, maybe. All right. Then I'm gonna pop one of these bigger beads right behind that butterfly. So I'm gonna put it right there. Oh, or right behind it. Right there. To kind of try and keep my little butterfly right in that spot. Hopefully, you gotta hold your bead in place while you wrap. So I'm wrapping. I'm gonna wrap that a couple times. Wrap it around there, all the way. There we go. And that looks pretty secure. he looks pretty good there. So now I'm gonna grab the other little flower, I think. Maybe. Alright. Grabbing that other little flower. Oh, I don't know. Is that gonna be okay? Or is it gonna get really just be hidden? That's not gonna work. Let's get, didn't we have, we had another, let's use another one of these. That won't be too big, but I think it might be too big. Maybe it won't. Maybe I need to put a bead on there first. Let's put one of these purpley ones on there. Alright, I'm putting a bead on there first. Sometimes this is just like wrapping the beads and they're going to work there in the spot or they're not going to work in the spot, you know? That's why they all come out just a smidge bit different. Alright. Okay, I put a bead there. I think I'm going to put one right here also. These are the little bit bigger beads. I think that might help pull out, pop up my little flower a little bit. There we go. Okay, there. So now, let's try that little flower again. And we are going to go here. We're going to put them right down in this little spot, I think. And I'm going to wrap this. Yeah, it's not where I want to. Right. That wire up there, around that, over that top bead. And I want my flower here. But I can't hold on to it because the butterfly is in the way. There we go. There we go. There. Maybe that's good. How's that? Then let's add one of these in there. We're going to go back around here behind that little flower. Plop that bead down in there. Then I'm going to go under that flower and wrap around. Hopefully that secures it a little bit better. I feel like he's just hiding. I can turn the butterfly though. And I can turn, I mean, it's wire. You can move things around a little bit. There we go. All right. And then we're going to grab, straighten that out a little. Grab a couple of these littler beads. Maybe we're going to grab them. There we go. And we're going to wrap a few around. Wrap them kind of around like that. And Then I'm going to end it just by wrapping the rest of the way up. Give a little texture to the rest of my base wire. So I'm just going to wrap that up there. Oops, kind of give it a nice little bit of detail there. And if I wanted, I could add more beads up in the top, but I think this has got enough beads on it. That one, I don't know about that one. It's fine. Oh, I forgot to add a leaf in there. I wanted a leaf there. I'm not unwrapping it now. See, it is what it is. So then when we get to the end, we're just going to wrap a few times around to secure it like this. And then back here on the back side, we are going to trim that right there. And then we want to just make sure that it's pushed down nicely. Not going to catch on anything. And there's that. And then we need to put in our centerpiece. And I wonder how it will look with this big old jumper ring. I don't know if I'm gonna like it though. I don't know. Actually, it's backwards. I thought I was putting it on right. Let's try again. Alright, where's the front? That's the back, this is the front. I was trying to do it from the back so things didn't get in my way. Right. There we go. So I can always add something, a little something, but it's kind of short. But that is my first one with these pretty flowers and butterflies. And this butterfly, he moves. So he can go that way. Or you can turn that way a little bit. That doesn't look bad with the big old jump ring. I don't know, I'll have to look at it a little while and see how I like it. But this is what it looks like. And once you're done, you're gonna love it. I should have added a few more of those sparkly beads in there, like into here maybe. And I needed one more leaf over there, I think. I forgot. I got distracted. But anyways, so that's how we do it. I hope that you enjoyed this. I know it's really long, but in editing, if I edit it, I'll see if I can make it shorter. I'm sure there's got to be something I can take out that was not worth, watching. But we'll see. Anyways, you guys have a great day, and I'll see you on the next one.